Dear President Robert Pless, fellow forgiveness heroes, distinguished guests, and friends, I want to thank you for this rare privilege of speaking to you today as one of your honorees and for awarding me this Heroes Award. I am excited to stand here before you, the honorees, the organizers, the special guests, and friends. I want to congratulate every single one of you for coming. For some of you, this is a new idea, and you are not sure if you are ready to go on a journey for forgiveness and healing. For some of you, you are already on the journey, and you start understanding its value. And for some of you, you have already reached the end or toward the end of the journey where you have found forgiveness, peace, and freedom. You have come a long way, a very, very long way. And so have I. 64 years ago, at this time, in August of 1944, I was a 10-year-old child, and I need to correct. The documentary says 9. It is my fault. I never celebrated my 10th birthday. Therefore, I never remembered being 10. But later on, I got my birth certificate. So I know I was 10 years old. I was a 10-year-old little girl huddled with my twin sister Miriam in our filthy bunk beds, crawling with lice and rats in the Auschwitz Nazi death camp. We were starved for food, starved for human kindness, and we were starved for the love of the mothers and fathers we once had. I didn't know then that there was a United States of America, but I knew nothing about the state of California, nor did I know anything about a city called San Francisco, nor did I know anything about a man named Robert Pless. In those days, I dreamed of food and freedom. So all my energies were focused on living one more day, surviving one more experiment. When we arrived in Auschwitz in the spring of 1944, within 30 minutes, my twin sister Miriam and I were actually ripped apart from our parents and 2 older sisters on a little strip of land called the selection platform. There is no other strip of land that has witnessed that many millions of people being ripped apart from their families forever. That first night, when I went to the latrine with my twin sister Miriam, I saw the corpses of 3 children on a filthy latrine floor. Then and there, I realized that this could happen to Miriam and me unless I did something to prevent it. So I made a silent pledge that I will do anything within my power to make sure that Miriam and I shall not end up on that filthy latrine floor, that we will walk out of this camp alive. I had no idea how to survive Auschwitz, but I never ever gave up on my dream to survive, nor on myself. Even when Dr. Joseph Mengele, in the summer of 1944, injected me with something that made me very ill, I was between life and death for about 2 weeks, and he actually stood by my bed with 4 other doctors and said, "Too bad, she's so young. She has only 2 weeks to live. For the following 2 weeks, I was between life and death. I remember crawling on the barrack floor because I no longer could walk, and I was crawling to reach a faucet with water at the other end of the barrack. As I was crawling, I would fade in and out of consciousness, and I kept telling myself, I must survive, I must survive. Miriam and I survived and were liberated on January 27, 1945. This is never ever giving up, is a very important life lesson. Another important life lesson is forgiveness. In my case, I lived with pain, anger, and the accompanying problems for almost 50 years. I never planned to forgive anybody. I somehow stumbled on it, and it changed my life forever. In the June of 1993, my twin sister Miriam died as a result of the experiment. I received a telephone call message on my answering machine that my brother-in-law was telling me, I'm sorry to inform you, but your sister died. I immediately called Israel, and I told them that I was coming with the first flight I could catch to Israel. My brother-in-law told me, don't bother. We don't have any time. The funeral is in 10 hours, and there is not enough time for you to reach us. I pleaded with him. I never buried any member of my family. And I also told him I wanted to say goodbye to my kidney that I donated in 1987. I left. I was devastated and was struggling with a lot of problems and pain. Only a few weeks later, I received a telephone call from a professor at Boston College who told me, Eva, I heard you lecture to doctors about Nazi medicine, and I am doing a conference. I want you to come and lecture to some doctors. I said, I love to lecture to doctors. And I do. And he said, why is that? I said, well, I go to the doctor tells me I'm too fat, I don't eat the right food, and I don't exercise. And then I have to pay him. So I said to myself, I would like to tell these doctors what they do wrong, and then have them pay me. Then he said to me another strange thing. He said, when you come to that conference, could you bring with you a Nazi doctor? Stunned as he request, I said, where on earth do you think I can find a Nazi doctor? Last time I looked, they weren't advertising in the yellow pages.